so happy to be live with you on Facebook and also making the YouTube video of the Rebekah Beneteau Show, Episode 7. So for those of you who don't know who I am Rebekah Beneteau, your sex, kink, and intimacy coach, the founder of Pleasure Evolution, and that is where I help people just like you become sexually empowered and authentic in order to be happy and gratified in all areas of your life. Because who doesn't want to get that, right? How does it get any better than that? Woohoo! All right, so welcome, and as I said, it's Wednesday, which means it's time for a brand new episode of the Rebekah Beneteau Show. And I got to be honest with you, I didn't know what I was going to talk about at first, because I was kind of having a cranky pants mood. I last week starred in a play in the Asheville Fringe Festival, which was really awesome, and I took a risk and I was naked on stage. Don't tell my mother, but it was really freeing. It was really wonderful. And I also had a client come down for an intensive from New York City. So with all of that intensity, by today I was feeling pretty droopy. But I am committed to being with y'all every Wednesday, so here we are. And that fact that I kind of had to get myself up for doing this, it was on the schedule. Every Wednesday, this is what I do. So that's number one thought I'm having. Oh yeah, so how did I get my topic? My topic is what to do when you don't feel like doing it. What to do when the turn-on fairy is not flying around your house, right? Which can happen to a lot of us. There are a lot of reasons why we are not in the mood, where we don't have our enthusiasm, our excitement for intimacy with a partner, right? Or intimacy with ourselves even. You may notice, like I get this from a lot of people, I just don't even feel like touching myself anymore. It seems like so much work. And I guess the first thing I want to say is that is totally okay. That it's the nature of life to expand and then contract, right? Expand and contract. It's like breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. So there are going to be times where your energy is more expanded, and there are going to be times when your energy is more contracted. Times when you feel like being around people, and times when you feel like being to yourself. Times when you feel like being intimate with your partner, and times when you don't. And everybody goes through that. Times when you feel like being sexual with yourself, times you don't. So that's the number one thing I want to say, is that the problem, the angsty part of all that, is when you judge yourself for not being in that other place. Like sometimes you're like really outgoing and you can't seem to stop yourself, but you think, I really should stay home and relax. Or you really feel like chilling with Netflix and you're like, I really should go out, something's wrong with me. Folks, if you get anything out of my videos, it's stop making yourselves wrong for anything. Judgment, number one killer of our sex life, our self-esteem, our joy in everything, is a judgment. In fact, insanity is when you make up some reality other than what's happening right now and decide that you'd prefer it. That is the road to depression. It's like, I would be happier if I only had a boyfriend. Well, you don't right now, and if you make that the place you gotta get to before you get happy, it's going to be harder to get a boyfriend. Just saying. That's just one example. So, be here now. Prefer what you've got right now. Accept yourself wherever you are right now. And then you can ask yourself, what else is possible? Right? I'm not feeling like having sex with my partner. So what now what? Well, as I did today, I had it on my calendar. So scheduling in intimacy with yourself or your partner is a really good way to make sure it happens. We don't let anything else in our life happen by default. No, we plan to go to the gym, we plan to go to the theater, we plan to go to the parent-teacher conferences. Schedule in sensuality with yourself, with your partner. Number one. So I started getting myself ready. I put my makeup on, changed out of my down home doing errands clothes, and I started to feel like a little bit more excited. So that's the other thing. It's like, feel the resistance and do it anyway. right? If the turn-on fairy, see, why doesn't the turn-on fairy fly through our house? Well, first of all, the hormonal drives are going to change. They're going to change all the time, no matter what age you are. So sometimes your body is going to give you more sexuality signals. Sometimes your mind is going to give you more sexuality signals. And sometimes, particularly as you age, that hormonal impetus, which is, let's face it, driving us to copulate so that we can make babies, so that we can perpetuate the species, has dropped, right? We just don't have that, particularly in men, your testosterone is going to drop as you age. That need to have sex is not going to be there as much. So if the turn-on fairy is not flying around your house, could be hormones, could be stress, could be fatigue. So you can start looking at, what are the factors here? Why aren't we feeling like being intimate? Are we on opposite schedules? Now I'm talking about couples. Are we on opposite schedules? Have we not done enough to make us feel connected where sex will feel like fun? That can happen. So I'm sorry, I just got distracted because I realized that I was supposed to be recording this on the other camera. Didn't happen. I'm a sex goddess, not a tech goddess. But this is another tip. When you were talking about do it anyway, risk doing it badly. Risk falling asleep in the middle. Like, what would it take for you to get intimate in the moment? Ask your partner, I feel like creating some intimacy. He or she may not be up for a big, long, hot and heavy makeout session with all kinds of crazy monkey sex, but are they open to starting with a cuddle? And from a cuddle, can you build that into caressing? And then from caressing, can you build that into something else? And asking along the way. See, I find, those of you who've watched me a bit know that I consider it a real turn on to talk during sex. To hear a partner describe what they're feeling and what they want to do with me, and for me to report back what I feel like doing to them. Or for me to report to them what it's feeling like when they touch me, and to hear, oh, I love hearing what it feels like when I touch you. And not just moaning and groaning, although that's very nice, but words are really, really good. So another way to spark things up, we've got number 1, schedule. Number 2, start anyway. And number 3, build up an intensity and describe what you're feeling and where it's going all along the way, because that can definitely amplify turn on. Got myself a little excited there. Okay, another thing I want to talk about, why the turn on fairy might not be flying through your house. The number 1 obstacle to good sex is anger. Big one, particularly in committed couples. There's all kinds of angers. There are big ones and small ones. There are frustrations. There are the time she asked you to take out the trash and you didn't. The time she talked over you when you were talking to someone at a party. These little tiny things, I call them getting bleeding to death from paper cuts. If you're noticing that you don't feel like being with your partner, or your partner doesn't feel like being with you, get conscious. Find out, look within yourself. Are there some resentments that have been building up? Do we have some clearing that we have to do? Do I maybe not have to do it with my partner, but just with myself? Or with a friend who's not going to give me any reality that I'm so right? But getting that anger and resentment out of the way. And if it, clearing it within yourself is a really important thing. If you have not been feeling like being intimate with your partner, I'm going to invite you to really look at, would I rather be happy or would I rather be right? What hurts from the past am I holding on to that are getting in the way of me being present to my life, my partner, my turn on right now? And am I willing to let go of that in order to have a good time? Maybe you aren't, but that tells you something about you. And then you got to choose. Now you're at the choice point. Right? And I can choose to let go of all this shit that's been holding me back. I can choose to let go of my anger. See, here's the really interesting thing. It's like a spiral that happens, right? Which is that we're annoyed with our partner, so we don't have sex. And then we don't have sex, which makes it really easy to feel not connected to my partner, which means what they do is really going to annoy me more, which is going to make me not want to have sex with them more, and down and down and down we go, right? Down the rabbit hole. So turn it around. Sometimes having sex, even if you're pissed at them, having sex, even if you don't feel connected to them, being willing to start will up your level of connection, which means you'll be way more forgiving, which means you'll be way more accepting, which means you'll find them way more favorable. Okay, number 2 thing to do when the turn-on fairy isn't flying around is get really honest with yourself. Is the reason you don't feel like fooling around because you haven't been enjoying it lately? Maybe your partner is only putting in half-hearted effort. Maybe they're missing the spot. Maybe you'd really like to start having sex in a way that's different. Maybe you've been having all this hot and heavy monkey sex, but what you really want is gazing into my eyes, I love you sex. Or the other way around. Maybe what you're craving is, fist in your hair, little spanking first sex. I don't know. It's up to you. Only you can know. But if the turn-on fairy isn't flying around, chances are there's something that you are wanting to do in the bedroom that you haven't asked for yet. Or you've been putting up with not so good sex and you haven't made note of it and you haven't been willing to change that situation. So the thing that I want to say to people, really important, is it's always all about you. If you're saying the turn-on fairy isn't flying around my house because my partner is fill in the blank, you've put the locus of power outside of yourself, and I'm going to tell you, bring it back. You always have the power to have a good sex life, no matter what is going on in your life. I know it may not always feel like that, but it really is true. But here's the question I'm going to ask you next. What are you willing to do differently than you've been doing it in order to guarantee that that happens? Because there may be something that you just haven't thought of yet. So here's a good question. Some of you know that I just got my Access Bars practitioner certification, and I'm on the track to get Access Consciousness Facilitators certification. So I'm really in love with their tools right now. It's just really juicy, and their tools are all around curiosity and possibility and being willing to ask the question and not even know what the answer is, not even necessarily have to get an answer, but just the willingness to ask the question creates like more spaciousness and more lightness around whatever you're asking. So here's the question for you. What have I not been willing to be that if I would be it would make my sex life even greater than it is? Notice I said even greater than it is, because you don't have to have a crummy sex life to want an even better sex life. You could be having a fantastic sex life and there's still more available. One of my girlfriends is out there. I see her watching, you know who. And she is a perfect example of a couple who already had a really good connection, really good sex life, and they just decided to go for more. I'm not going to say her name because I don't have her permission, but she knows who she is. Anyway, right? What have I not been willing to be that if I would be it, would bring me a fantastic sex life? And then be open to what answers float into your head. What might I change that could make my sex life even better than this? Body. Ask your body questions. Hey, body. Have a conversation with your genitals. Hey, body. Hey, vagina. Hey, penis. What do you require and desire that would get you juiced up and ready to have some real fun? Huh? And see what answers you get. Maybe you need more exercise. Maybe you need more water. Maybe you need more sleep. Maybe you want more connection with your partner through other forms of intimacy than sexual touch that you haven't been getting. So all of these ways are things that you can do to kick back up the spark, to invite the turn-on fairy to come fly through your house and bonk you on the head with her wand. But I hope you're getting that it's never about what they're not doing. I often get calls from clients and they say, I really wish that my partner would initiate more. Which is a great question. It's a great longing, fabulous desire. We all want to feel wanted and desired and like our partner wants to be with us. So the question is, how do I become more of an invitation that would inspire my partner to take more initiative? What's going on in my partner's life that maybe they're not showing initiative? Sometimes I've found that someone's been creating initiative, maybe not doing it in the way that their partner can receive. Like a guy comes up behind his partner and says, "Want to F?" I don't know if I can say the F word in these videos on Facebook. So anyway, but you know what I mean. Want to do it? And she's like, "Oh, you're so gross. You're so gauche." Well, the next time he has a sexual impulse, he's going to like pull it back because he got shot down last time. So it is in part up to us to be the invitation, to be aware of where we have maybe not been welcoming. Now, I'm not saying, I would never say that just because your partner says let's do it, you should do it even if you don't feel like it. And if you think that his or her or their approach is lacking in some finesse, what part of this exchange is your responsibility? How you respond to them. If you just shut them down with a, "Oh, you're so gross," they're not getting any information about how to do it better next time. But if you were like, "Hey, I love that you're showing me that you're in the mood, but I would like a little more finessing next time. I would like a little more seduction next time." And that might look like, I don't know, start texting me in the morning. "Hey baby, when I come home today, I'm really going to want to do it. Hey baby." And throughout the day, just thinking about you naked is making me feel really excited. Flirtation, seduction, creating romance, that also sparks up the turn on fairy. But giving your partner, if you've been turning your partner down, if you've not been welcoming, don't just not be welcoming. Give them information about how to succeed next time. So again, what can I do to be more of an invitation to my partner so that they can create more initiative and we can have fabulous sex with ease and joy? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what the answers will be for you. Okay, what about if you don't have a partner? How can I find more partners? What invitation have I not been? What have I not done? What am I not doing with my profile? Where have I not looked for potential partners? That's a good one. I think I hear a lot from people who go, "There are no good ones out there. Everybody on OkCupid is just interested in a guy with a paycheck." Or, "I don't know, all the guys seem to want to fall into bed right away, and if I don't seem like I'm ready for that, they don't write me back." Whatever it is, story. You're in your story. And maybe OkCupid isn't the place for you to look. I'm going to tell you a little story. How about a joke? Yeah, let's have a joke. I'm going to sneeze first. Wait a second. Oh, it must be true. So two guys are going ice fishing, and they sit down on the ice. Oh, thank you, Lee, loving you. All right, so two guys are sitting on the ice. They sit down on the ice. They're going to ice fish. They take out the saw. They start to dig, and all of a sudden they hear this big booming voice. "There are no fish there." They look at each other. They shrug. They get up. They move 5 feet to the left. They sit down. They start digging again. Digging in the ice, going to go ice fishing. All of a sudden they hear this voice, "There are no fish there." My God, they think God smiles upon fishermen. So they get up, they go along the ice, they sit down, they start digging another hole. They hear the deep booming voice again. The voice says, "This is the rink manager. There are no fish there." So that is huge wisdom for people who are looking to find people to date and relate to. If you get the message, there are no fish there, it's time for you to go fishing in another pool, right? Because there are always people, there's tons. Hi, Tina, thank you. There are tons of people who are just waiting to love us and who want us to love them. And the piece that's missing is connecting that. So how do you find where the people are? You find a tribe of people who are open-minded. You find a tribe of people who like what you like to do, right? And I gotta say that one of the things that keeps me really turned on and lit up in my life is being around people that keep me turned on and lit up in my life. And it isn't necessarily about romantic partnership. I have the most wonderful friends that I enjoy amazing sensual contact with, that I can snuggle up in their lap and feel really fulfilled. For being around other people who are younger when you are in a hormonal fade, but being around other people who are younger, who perhaps have more strong sexual hormones running, we become like tuning forks, so we pick up on them. So being around other people who are in their sexual joy and passion is going to spark up yours, right? That's going to bring the turn-on fairy to you. So I hope I've given you a lot of really great tips. I've really enjoyed. Anybody got any comments or questions that is on the live feed? I'll be happy to answer them directly. Where are you in terms of the turn-on fairy? All right, well, we haven't had any live questions, so I'm going to close up with saying that I'm Rebekah Beneteau, the Queen of Pleasure Evolution, where your passion, no, that's not how I say it, your pleasure is my passion. If you have liked this video, please like it, please share it, because that lets other people find out about it, and the more people we can get lit up and turned on, the more lit up and turned on we're all going to be. That is the goal, right? Lit up, turned on, passionate, purposeful folks. Ta-da! So you can find me here on Facebook on Pleasure Evolution. You can come visit the site, pleasureevolution.com. I'm on Twitter as Pleasure Coaches. I'm on Instagram. Someone says, I love the turn-on fairy. Yes, we do. And sometimes we have to be our own turn-on fairy. That's it. Don't be waiting for some other little being to come flying through. Don't wait for your partner. You are the turn-on fairy in your life. Right? So do the things that get you lit up, turned on, and excited. Bring it to your partner. Make a date with yourself. Touch yourself all over every day. Have a conversation with your body and say, body, what would you desire and require that would make you more turned on and more lit up by myself? And body, what would you require and desire that would make it even more fun to be with the partner that I already have? Who can I be? What energy can I be? And what can I do that would bring a partner into my life with ease and joy? Dun, 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 dun. Right? And hang around with us at Pleasure Evolution, because we got it going on. And watch some of the other episodes. If you think you might like something different because things have gotten a little stale and you're not sure what it is yet, Pleasure Evolution is the place. We are running the smorgasbord. There's a way to spark up the turn-on fairy. Maybe what you're turned on by now at this point in your life is not what you were used to. Maybe there's something new and it's outside your awareness, and you won't know what it is until you try it. Like you didn't know you liked sushi until you tried it. You didn't know you liked spanking until you tried it. And so I'm all about presenting to you guys the smorgasbord of what is possible in the bedroom and beyond in your life, so that you can taste it and you can figure out what you like and what you don't. And just know not everything is going to be your turn on. That's cool. Doesn't have to be. And if it's somebody else's, that's cool for them. Don't yuck their yum. All right, well, I think that's enough about me. I hope you got some tips about being your own turn-on fairy and how to inspire the turn-on fairy to fly through your house. And until next week, I'm Rebekah Beneteau from Pleasure Evolution. Loving you from here. Bye.